Humans had a mosquito problem, so they sprayed insecticide. The mosquitoes died. The plan looked good. Problem: the system did not stop at mosquitoes. Soon, people had rats, and the solution became one of the strangest sentences in pest control history. They had to parachute cats into Borneo to fight rats. That sounds fake until history says, no. Unfortunately, humans really do get this weird. Before we go further, one detail matters. This story has a famous viral version, and parts of it are exaggerated. You may hear people say thousands and thousands of cats rain from the sky. That number is probably not true. The better documented version says that in 1960, the Royal Air Force airdropped 23 cats into Bario in Sarawak to deal with rats damaging crops. Still, 23 cats falling out of the sky is not exactly normal agriculture. The story begins with a simple human goal: stop disease. In tropical regions, mosquitoes were not just annoying little flying needles. They could carry malaria, and malaria was dangerous. So when people wanted to reduce malaria, the obvious target was the mosquito. Kill the mosquitoes, reduce the disease, save lives. That part makes sense. Nobody saw a mosquito biting someone and thought, actually, this tiny flying syringe is probably important to the furniture. So insecticides like DDT were used in malaria control campaigns, and DDT was powerful. It could knock down mosquitoes and stay active on walls and surfaces. It looked like the kind of modern solution humans love: spray the problem, watch it disappear, write success in large letters. And at first, that was the story people wanted. Mosquitoes go down. Malaria goes down. Everybody claps for the spray can. But nature does not read the label and say, I will only affect the intended target. That is where the trouble starts. Because when you spray a powerful chemical into a living place, it does not move through that place like a polite guest. It touches walls, insects, small animals, and the food chain. And the food chain is basically a row of living things accidentally eating each other's problems. Here is the famous version of what happened. The insecticide killed mosquitoes, but it also affected other insects. Some insects were eaten by small animals. Some of those animals were eaten by cats. Cats in some areas reportedly died or disappeared. And when the cats were gone, rats had more freedom. That part should be said carefully, because not every step is perfectly proven in the clean cartoon way people repeat it. But the broader pattern is real enough to matter. A human solution aimed at one pest can disturb the animals controlling another pest. And the documented ending is wonderfully strange. Rats became a serious problem in Bario. They were damaging rice crops. The area was remote, high in the Kelabit Highlands, and hard to reach by road. So humans had to ask a question that no serious meeting should ever have to ask. How do we deliver cats to a mountain village? And because the answer could not be by normal road, the answer became by air. Imagine that meeting, a map on the table, a rat problem in the mountains, no easy road, and someone finally saying, what if the cats came from above? That is not a plan. That is a sentence from a dream. But it happened. On March 17, 1960, cats were packed into baskets and dropped by parachute into Bario, along with equipment and supplies. The report said the drop worked. The cats landed in the right zone. The locals got their rat hunters. And about a month later, a message reportedly came back. Thanks for the cats. No more trouble with rats and mice. That is a fantastic ending if you only look at the final scene. Cats land, rats lose, village happy, roll credits. But the real story is not cats are useful. Everyone with a kitchen already knows that. The real story is how humans reached the point where airborne cats became a reasonable option, because the original plan was not about cats, it was about mosquitoes. The original plan was simple: spray the insecticide, kill the disease-carrying insects, improve life. But once the spray entered the system answered with a different problem. Less mosquito trouble over here, possible cat trouble over there, then rat trouble. Then aircraft cat delivery. The solution did not stay in one lane. It bounced, and that is the key idea. Nature is not a row of separate boxes. You cannot poke one part and expect the others to sit still. They are connected by food, shelter, poison, movement, and survival. A mosquito campaign can become a rat campaign. A rat campaign can become a cat delivery mission. And a cat delivery mission can become a story that makes future humans ask, why were the cats flying? This is why Operation Cat Drop is such a perfect system story. Every step sounds almost reasonable by itself. Malaria is dangerous. Mosquitoes spread malaria. Insecticide kills mosquitoes. Cats kill rats. Planes reach remote places. But put them together, and suddenly you have a tropical village looking up at the sky while pest control arrives meowing. That is how backfires often work. Not one obviously stupid decision, but a chain of small, reasonable decisions connecting into a giant, weird result. A person sprays for mosquitoes. A cat eats something it should not. A rat population grows. A crop gets attacked. A government has to organize flying cats. And somewhere, a serious official is still trying to make this sound normal in paperwork. Delivery of feline assets successful. No, those are sky cats. Now, the cats themselves were not the villain. The rats were not even the villain. The mosquitoes were dangerous, yes, but they were not planning a global strategy from a puddle. The real problem was the assumption that one targeted fix would stay targeted. That is the mistake humans make again and again. We look at the annoying visible thing and say, remove that. But the visible thing is usually attached to invisible relationships. Who eats it? What does it eat? What happens if it disappears? What happens if the poison moves? What happens if the replacement predator has to be shipped in by military aircraft? That last question sounds specific, but apparently we needed it. The funniest visual in this story is the parachute cat, but the most useful visual is the chain. Mosquitoes, spray, small animals, cats, rats, rice, people, plane, parachute, meow. That chain is ridiculous, but it is also the lesson. When humans touch a system, the system does not only respond where the finger lands, it responds everywhere the connections reach. And sometimes those connections stay quiet until they become expensive, dangerous, or extremely embarrassing. In the famous version, the spray solved one problem and helped create another. In the documented ending, humans really did airdrop cats to fight rats in a remote place. So even if the viral version grew extra fur over time, the core pattern still stands. A simple pest control idea entered a complicated living system, and the follow-up solution became stranger than the original problem. The story ends well enough for Bario, at least in the reports. The cats arrived. The rats were controlled. The crops were safer. Because that is the uncomfortable part. The cats were not the original solution. They were the solution to the solution. And once your solution needs another solution dropped from the sky, maybe the system is trying to tell you something. If you liked this one, the next video is right here. Go watch that. And as always, let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching, dummies. I'll see you in the next one.